this? I don't know. It's me. It's Amid the Ruins. It's a guy who makes dire wave music. It's Amid the Ruins. Dire wave music. What I've talked about in, probably 100 articles at Jay's Analysis is the implementation of the AI smart grid and the giant smart cities, which is what IBM talks about publicly building. And that's where we're going, and that's what I think we have to be really concerned about. So all of these tensions, they are part of a long-term strategy to basically get everybody moved into mega cities. They'll be forced off of land and so forth for environmental reasons, and basically concocted and invented environmental nonsense. Then you'll be stuck in some hellhole mega city in a, basically a carton-size apartment living over a Target or something, or inside of a Target or a Walmart, as I said several years ago. It's actually coming true now. There's actually Target cities. This is all part of the long-term globalist strategy. So, but to get there, you've got to have the constant clash, the constant alchemical blending and mixing and smashing together right out of Manichaeanism to produce the convergence, to produce the synthesis. And that's what's crucial in all this, and what is absolutely true from an alchemical, esoteric, philosophical, and geopolitical perspective, the fact the ruling elite seek to be post-human. jaysanalysis.com. fix today's problems politically. And this is what so many people in alt circles and alt-right and alt-whatever and alt-media, they all seem to think that there's like a political solution to man's problems. And really the whole of modernity is built on this neo-pagan concept of political salvation. And there is no political salvation for man, because man's problems are not essentially political, they're spiritual. The hierarchy of how man views himself in the world has been inverted. I've covered over and over and over the white papers that actually discussed how to invert and subvert that, changing images of man, things like this. So what has to happen is that the inversion has to be reverted back to the way it needs to be. And that means that first and foremost for man, it is spiritual issues. Those come first. Then we have the things like the philosophy and the family and the social issues and things like that. That comes next. And race or ethnicity can be classed as part of that. That is, in other words, you caring for your people is just a broader extension of the family, the tribe, the nation. Right? It all depends on what we mean by these words and these terms. Now, America and Americanism is the first attempt at a completely propositional nation. And this is well known. This is not debated in political theory. I think even Abraham Lincoln referred to it that way. Jay Dyer of Jay's Analysis. Jay Dyer of Jay's Analysis. Jay Dyer, today's analysis. All right. Welcome. You're here. We're here. Everything is all right. The world is okay.
Oh, hi, friends.
We made it to 70.
This is going to be the goofiest show I think we've ever done.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
How would we tabulate that? That's hard to tabulate.
I don't know. We've got some goofy stuff. We've got the worst movies we could think of. But what kind of criteria would you say these fall under?
Criteria? What do you mean?
Like the worst plot or the worst...
No, it's just
story.
worst. I mean, it's the worst.
Our worst favorite.
Well, no, it had to be worst that also had some kind of a theatrical release or known. It couldn't. I mean, you can always find some, random piece of crap movie that nobody's ever heard of that's just terrible, But like Manos or something.
It's not Mystery Science Theater worst. It's kind of like
right. Although many of these would definitely be fitting for riff tracks, and we made it. We made it to 70K. We were trying to figure out if we should have a party at 75 or at 70, but the more excuses to party, the better. So. Welcome, everybody. And, I messed up big time today. I messed up huge. Because I'm terrible at scheduling things. And I was supposed to be on with Sam Tripoli and Brian Callen, the famous comedian. And I messed up. And Isaac Weishaupt was going to be there. And I got the time wrong because I always mess up on time. And... so hopefully I didn't screw up everything by missing out on a big interview and a big fun show. But maybe time is just not real. Time is a 5-sense reality construct of the cheetah.
5D consciousness in the zone theory.
Yes.
Right.
Doesn't one of our movies have zone theory in it, or is that something else?
I think it might. All right. We'll find out. We got good ones.
Yeah, we'll have a big party if we ever magically get to 100K. I feel like we should have already been in 100K, but whatever.
Have to get one of those?
100.
100,000? So 30 more thousand, we get a little YouTube play button?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Get the silver one.
We could do that. We'll have fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we went from 40 to 70 in a year. So even tracking the way we did them 1 year, we can hopefully we could do 100 by 1 year, Lord willing. But anyway.
But we'll never be as popular as The Room and Tommy Wiseau, or will we?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, probably not. I don't know. It's kind of hard to gauge the people that become popular for bad movies and bad stuff, the infamy or reverse popularity. I don't know what you want to call it, but
yeah,
what
ironic popularity or
well, I mean, they really are popular.
Yeah, but like people like it because it's bad. Okay, so we're doing The Room. This is kind of like the benchmark of all bad movies. It has everything you would want in a bad movie, including a eclectic character that's behind it all, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, right? Who appears to be a person who never progressed beyond adolescence. Because in his mind, the USA Up All Night, Cinemax movie is the best way to do a movie. Right? So in his mind, it's like a teenager. If you asked a teenager, write an erotic thriller, right? Which just sounds terrible, right?
Or a drama, sexy drama.
No, it's an erotic thriller.
A thriller, would you say?
It's erotic thriller.
Okay, yeah, okay. So,
and it's not even Not that I don't care about erotic thrillers, but I mean, this is.
I remember the first time I saw this, I didn't know that it had no popularity. It was, close to when it came out, and I just saw the box and rented it.
Are you serious?
I liked to do that, like rent a movie that I heard nothing about and go to the weird section of the video store where all the independent or straight to video releases and just see what's weird over there. So I got this one.
Are you sure you got that one?
Yeah. And I had seen it, and it's one of those things where are you wondering, is this a satire? Should I keep going? Should I turn it off? But it like compels you for some reason because each scene is just more than the next.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi, Lisa.
Yes, it's definitely unique in the sphere of bad movies. There's I've spent a lot of time in my life watching bad movies. I grew up with Mystery Science Theater, big fan of riff tracks, Joel and Mike and all that. And it's one of the best riff tracks. If you've not watched any of the riff tracks, definitely go avail yourself of this one. Cool as Ice is definitely one of the best riff tracks. We just reviewed that one we didn't even want to watch just the movies. We did the riff tracks versions because I mean, it's painful. One of these was so bad we just turned it off. I mean,
we'll get to that one.
And by the way, we want to know your recommendations. So if you have recommendations for really bad movies that you want us to do, to analyze, to review, go ahead and put those in the chat. And you can support with Super Chats if you would like to support. We want to head on towards 100K. It's been a long, fun journey. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I think 12, 13 years I started a YouTube account. Never really used it, didn't think much about it. And then after you do, a year or so, 2 years of podcasting, then you're like, oh, well, people who are making videos get like 7,000 times more views than I get. So I'm going to start making videos. And then you kind of go down this tumble rabbit hole of, doing more videos and live streams. And then you try to get better equipment. And yes, people have said, when are you going to get a good camera? I had a good camera and it broke. So if you want to donate and help us, we just got lights. So we have the fancy lights now. We finally got actual YouTuber cringe lighting in here, which actually I like, right? But to say I'm a YouTuber, right? It's pretty. That's a pretty cringe kind of job claim, but I'll take it. I guess I'd rather be my own boss as a cringe YouTuber. But so we've got the fancy lights. And if you want to help us get a camera, feel free to donate because my $1,000 Nikon just completely broke one day. So anyway, yes, back to The Room. I heard about this, and it was one of those things where I wasn't really eager to see it just because it was a thing that everybody was talking about, a bad movie, and it's like, I don't know, I'm cooler than that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if everybody thinks that this is worth watching because it's funny, it's probably not any good.
Yeah.
Because of my hipster snobbery, I guess. But
this is the movie. People would ask me for a recommendation. I would tell them this as a joke, and then see if they actually watched it and came back and said, "Why did you recommend that?" Because this and H.P. Lovecraft movies are, have the same type of vibe.
Like Dagon?
Well, all H.P. Lovecraft movies I've noticed are pretty low budget, cheesy. But anyways. Room is in San Francisco, and we have Tommy who plays Johnny, right? Mm-hmm. And
right. So Tommy sees himself as Orson Welles, right? He's somebody who is confident enough that he can write, direct, and star in his own picture as the focal piece of everything. And by the way, I would say if you've not seen the excellent James Franco rendition of Tommy Wiseau, Disaster Artist, it's excellent, right? So we have to give props to that. James Franco did really good with that.
He was him. So you've got Dollar Store Anna Faris,
right,
playing the lead character,
and she's not attractive. That's the other thing too, is that you would think if he was going to find the sort of lead person, it would be, but she's very just not even girl next door. She's very I don't know, like. The band leader, like she leads the band in high school or something.
She is engaged to Johnny, and
they know the plot. We don't have to tell them the plot. Well, I think right away what's interesting is that you really don't leave 2 or 3 locations. I mean, most of this movie takes place...
It does in a room.
Yeah, but the room is supposed to be the bedroom. Okay, that's I'm guessing that's what the room is here.
Yeah.
And so everything important is happening in this room and at Johnny's flat in San Francisco. And it's again... gross. I mean, it's not erotic. It's just revolting. It's revolting.
Yeah.
The sequences are revolting.
His body's real weird. Like her.
What did Mike say? That his whole body is made out of Madonna's arms.
Yeah. It's very sinewy and like the light. I don't know if it's the lighting or.
He looks like he's got Body World, right? Like his body is Body World body.
Yeah. Her seduction is like the worst of the neighbor. Mark.
Yeah.
Right. It's super cringy.
Essentially, no one... there's not any good element of this film. The acting is no good. The dialogue is awful. The people look weird and terrible. The film, the cinematography... I mean, everything about this movie is bad. The plot is terrible. It's stupid. But right away, it's unsettling because Denny comes in when they're flirting and having a pillow fight, and he says, "I want to watch you guys." Hi, Denny.
There's at least 2 pillow fights in this movie, if not more. So if you like,
and a tickle fight.
A tickle fight. There's at least 3 scenes of football throwing. For no reason, like impromptu throwing the.
No, that's the best part is why suddenly throw the football. Like we got our tuxedos on, let's play football, right? Naturally, right?
Because he's trying to establish they're just like normal guys that are friends, like pal around.
Well, it's about American. He wants to be American, right? So Tommy is the mystique around this guy. Tommy Wiseau is. That nobody really knows his background. Where did he get this $1 million to make this movie? Supposedly he spent like $1 million on the movie or something. Nobody knows his background, so it's kind of like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? I don't know if anybody still has any idea about this guy, but apparently he got money somehow, and he put the money into this movie. And I'm guessing that it's because he is from some generic Eastern European kind of country. Like, he didn't really get American culture. This was made in the late 90s, 2003. So it was an approximation or attempt to, I don't know, like integrate into American culture. And he thought this would be a really appealing movie, maybe based on the kind of garbage that Showtime and USA Up All Night would put out. So that's what it's like. It's like that. But it's just so horrible in every category that it's now become the benchmark and for bad movies.
Yeah.
And we included it because it is so popular and so well known. But I think he also had he actually got more famous from the bad movie and had like an underwear line. I mean, it's just wild.
Oh, wow.
It's like the greatest example of, remember the guy who William Hung? Remember that dude?
Oh, yeah.
Or the Chocolate Rain guy.
Chocolate Rain. Yes, I remember.
So Tommy Wiseau was like the greatest of all those people. Like the king of the dung pile of bad success.
You've been practicing your Tommy, I hope. I have some lines for you to do. You ready? Say, I did not hit her. I did not.
I did not hit her. I did not.
Yeah. Say, you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
You tear me apart, Lisa!
Yeah.
And then I tear the apartment apart.
Yeah, he knocks the apples out of the bowl.
That's the best part is him just flinging apples out of the bowl in his rage.
Another part about this is the characters, though. Like, they're so just generic and milquetoast. Like, I have a psychologist. He's a banker, and he has a psychologist friend, and he has, like, a sporty friend, and he has a young friend, Denny. It's just, wow. How about cheep, 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 cheep. Cheep, cheep, are you chicken? Cheep, cheep, cheep.
What's funny is that in Tommy Wiseau's mind, this is a big cut down, and it actually is like the ultimate self-own cut down because he looks ridiculous when he starts doing his cheap thing.
Yeah.
And you can even tell in the faces of the actors that they're like, oh, here he goes again.
Cheap. How about I want it all?
I want to live,
Yeah.
she says. Mm-hmm. So Lisa wants it all, and her mom is trying to just ban that guy. The mom is trying to
convince
her to stay for monetary reasons, right? So again, we don't have to summarize the plot. Just tell me what everybody. There's not a plot.
Well, the plot is that his best friend and his girls are cheating behind his back and using him.
What's a psychologist?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, so the way he says psychologist.
Psychologist. Okay, psychologist.
Yeah,
That's good.
And he says cheat.
Yeah.
And how about? I thought the best thing about this movie was the B-roll footage of San Francisco, like the beautiful city and the skyline and everything. Oh, my favorite line of the movie ever. You ready? Mm-hmm. Keep your stupid comments in your pocket. That's my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you will be repeating throughout your day when you watch this movie.
Yep.
And by the way, the other thing too that was kind of neat that he did was when this was a hit, he just rebranded it. Oh, it was the dark comedy.
I meant to make it.
I meant to make it dark comedy.
Yeah.
Right. So he made this awful movie, and then when it got popular, he turned it into it's a dark comedy.
I like how everything in the movie had a double. Like there was 2 scenes of them making out with rose petals. Right. There was 2 scenes of them throwing the football. There was 2 of everything.
Doggy will avenge me.
Yeah. Oh hi, Doggy.
Oh hi, Doggy. Oh hi, Mark. Oh hi.
Oh hi.
Oh hi, chat.
Oh hi, Denny.
Oh hi.
Oh hi, chat. I like them.
That is the best. Oh hi, Doggy. Mm-hmm. Everybody, be sure to hit like and share. We're having fun tonight. So yeah, The Room was fun, and I really recommend the Riff Tracks version of The Room.
Yeah.
But by the way, somebody said he is from Poland.
Okay.
I got cursed for trying to impersonate Tommy. He wanted to impersonate me. You regret it. Doggy avenged him. Doggy avenged him.
It's the same when he does Jesse Ventura. He always chokes in the ghost of Jesse
Well,
Ventura.
I try to take a drink of something, and then I scarf it down the wrong gullet. It goes down the wrong gills.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
This is funny. All right.
I'm sorry, Tommy. Take your curse off of me. I mean, Doggy. Was it Doggy or Tommy that got me?
Yup. We're doing Cool as Ice.
I kind of got Iceman hair right here.
Yeah. You kind of look like
I just need some lines.
a handsome fighter pilot or something.
I literally did get lines in the 90s.
We did the home haircut, by the way. It was a team effort. Right? We did it.
Mostly. I mean, it's kind of jagged. It's kind of beat
when
up.
It grows in a little bit.
It kind of looks like on some parts somebody been chewing on it. A creature been chewing on some parts, but that's okay.
Right.
It came out pretty good for a home haircut.
It's better than...
Don't you know what I'm talking about with the lines?
Yes, you need...
I had those in the 90s.
Let's take the clippers and cut out your eyebrows like Vanilla Ice.
I'll give myself lines right now.
Yeah.
On air.
Do it.
You want me to?
Yeah.
Okay. Keep talking. Keep talking. I'll do it. Cool time.
70,000 people are going to watch you
I don't care.
cut your hair into... Okay, fine.
I'm going to get myself
This is going to be awesomer than
Ice
the 90s dance intro.
Gotta figure out how to plug it in. All right, keep talking. You
need
keep talking.
extension?
I'm gonna plug you. This wasn't planned.
Let me read
I'm
the
gonna do
chat while you go away.
No, just keep reading the movie. There's not enough super chat.
All right, we're gonna talk about Vanilla Ice, Cool as Ice. 1991, but it was so 90s that it kind of set the tone for all of the 90s. Like, it had the hip-hop dancers and the bright colors, and it had the Stussy, and what other 90s brands did it have? Naomi Campbell, the supermodel. What else did it have?
She guest appears.
Remember all the brands that it had? Fear.
Jackets with words.
Massimo, jackets with words. Jingle, Arizona, Hypercolor. It had all of the 90s. Oh, gosh. So, you've got Vanilla Ice and his squad.
It was called the VIP Posse.
Oh, it had a name. Okay, here we go.
Keep going.
70K, you're going to shave your head. Like, remember those?
Yo.
Yo. Let's do it.
I can't tell if it's even.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, do it. I can't get it even.
Well, like, where, though? Like...
The word Vanilla did it. No, you have to touch it.
Okay.
And then
it has to go like this, though.
No, it doesn't. She doesn't know anything about clippers. It's uneven. Is it too short? It's not working, is it?
Easy.
You just touch it.
Okay.
That's all you do.
All right.
And then you move it back one. You don't move it. You just touch it to make a line. That's what you're doing. I can't even make a line. This is a total failure. Keep going.
All right.
I'm going to try it in there.
Oh, okay.
But I can't see in here. And you don't know how to do it.
I'm bad with clippers. I don't know. They scare me. They scare me like the fashions in this movie Cool as Ice. So who else is in it? Oh, there's a girl who looks like Jennifer Connelly. And him and his squad are just... What was it called?
What was what called?
His team.
VIP Posse.
The VIP Posse are just like kicking it, driving through the California hills, and one of their bikes breaks down. And they meet up with a good girl. This is kind of like one of those bad... I mean, it is a bad guy, good girl movie, right? And she's already having boyfriend problems with her waspy, uptight boyfriend, who is a contrast to the slickness of Vanilla, right? Did you get it?
Kinda.
Oh, that looks cool.
It's too short. My hair's too short. There we go.
Yeah.
VIP Posse. In effect.
Cool. Good job, babe.
I had to stop, collaborate,
And
listen,
Yeah.
and it worked. Now the Iceman has a full-on like brick and mortar wall
And his eyebrows.
in his head. Oh yeah, you did the. I forgot about that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that one, but I will do that.
Yeah, that looks neat. I like it.
You want me to do the other side? Send some more super chats, bitches.
Oh. Well, this is a movie about how, like...
It's a movie about the mafia.
That's
This is a movie about witness relocation and bad boys, namely the Iceman, and the music industry.
Bad boys are not the same as bad guys, because bad boys, like Vanilla Ice, are just, like, misunderstood. But then you have the gangsters, the bad guys that he saves the family from.
What it's like having a Roni. What it's like having a Roni.
What's a Roni?
I don't even know.
Oh.
I've never known what the F he's talking about. Like, I have no clue what a Roni is. Somebody in the party, in the chat, the party chat, y'all can probably tell me what the Roni is that Vanilla's talking about, because I have no idea.
How about the whimsical house of the weird couple? You like that?
These are like 60s boomers. Like they're hippie era boomers that have moved out into the country, right? And he wrecks. Remember that he he wrecks and he's going to have the hippie boomers fix his bike while he's stuck in the small town. So apparently Vanilla travels to his gigs on his crotch rocket. So he goes from gig to gig, club to club on his crotch rocket, and gets stranded in a California town, which...
Glendora.
But it's like it's some kind of 50s town. It doesn't make any sense. Like the people at the club, the white people's club, they're all dressed like 50, like they're going to the under the sea enchantment.
They're 50s nerds.
Right, like they're going to the
at the
the undersea
shack.
enchantment. It's like they're at the Back to the Future dance. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense, right? At the Sugar Shack and so and I think it was geared towards like promoting hip hop to whites, because Vanilla is one guy and he's got an all crew of black guys and girls, and at that point there weren't a whole lot of white rappers initially.
Eminem hadn't come out yet.
No, this is 1990-91, so this is like, I'm trying to think of there were probably some lesser known ones in the 80s, but MC Search doesn't count because he's a Jewish rapper. Third Bass. Okay, so Third Bass is the only like successful white, because the other dude in Third Bass was a white dude. But I think House of Pain is maybe coming out right around this time, right? So there's a couple attempts to have white rap, but once we saw Snow, we knew that white rap was like a package thing where they were trying to copy these different styles and these different trends. And then it just kind of took off from there. There was a whole spate of successful white rappers, at least nowadays. But at the time, I mean, we have to give Ice, I guess, some credit that he was in a genre that, you didn't expect to see white dudes doing very well at. And by the way, isn't there some crazy story that Suge Knight held Vanilla Ice outside of from a balcony and threatened him or something like that?
What?
Yeah, I mean, there's some story about Vanilla Ice being, I don't know if it's true, but yeah, Third Bass, Pop Goes the Weasel, Pete Nice, and MC Search. Anyway, so, but they were trying to keep it real, whereas Vanilla was totally a corporate. Like, he had no problem with, corporate promotion and go Ninja, go.
All his brands and like.
Well,
deals.
what I'm saying is once he did the ninja rap, like that was it, right?
Yeah. How about their date to the construction site?
Yeah, there's a lot of sequences in this movie that literally make no sense. They're really bizarre. I think maybe half the time they were going for trying to have a music video, like the movie would be an extended music video, most of which those are always really cringy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, story makes me think of like,
remember R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet?
oh yeah, that kind of stuff.
Man,
or remember November Rain? That was one of the that was like a 20-minute, but it was like a 20-minute little vignette story of Axel and that supermodel, what's her name?
Yup.
Where
So
we at?
inexplicably, they really love the construction site.
Did we get to all this?
Yeah, pretty much. How
Okay.
about this line? I'm going across the street to schling my schlong. Can you say that?
Yeah, so one thing that's odd about Vanilla is his, he's basically just extremely crude. I mean, he's talking constantly about getting laid, about schlinging the schlong. Slang I've never heard before, but apparently maybe Vanilla invented his own slang.
Did he really say drop that zero and get with a hero?
Yes.
He said that. Yeah.
So, and he's bold, right? So he does end up getting the chick in this just
He
because
has the
he's
swagger.
but he just doesn't care, right? And he actually makes fun of the guy that, the waspy rich guy. But Vanilla, bro, terrible acting. Oh my gosh, dude, no acting at all. It's just him standing there like,
And he's like,
drop that zero, get with his hero.
he's like full of dumbass platitudes, like, gotta be true to yourself.
You gotta be true to yourself.
Right?
Yeah,
And
I
his
mean,
head is never, straight up and
his
down.
head always turned. Wait, I think the VIP posse had like some kind of a, like they would do some kind of a, he does it on the cover of the album. He's like this for the VIP posse.
Mm-hmm. I think there's some kind of medical condition where his neck doesn't hold it up.
Well, I oddly enough, when I was looking up the music videos from this movie, this is popular on YouTube. Like the songs from this have like a million plus views. They've got like all thumbs up. So I guess it's just somehow a cultural artifact of the 90s that was so 90s and so kind of goofy that people have just like accepted Vanilla, right? It's kind of like, I mean, he didn't fail. Like he went on, even though, so after this period of this first album and then this movie and this album, then he went into a weed phase. I don't know if you guys know this, but he became like a dreaded out weed rapper for like an album or two. I don't know. But anyway, those didn't do good at all. But then he went into his reality show phase and had a lot of success, flipping houses in Miami and stuff like that. So Vanilla actually ended up being quite successful. I don't know what he does lately. Like, I'm sure he does something, but the people in the chat will know. But somehow he wandered through the cultural malaise to be highly successful in the midst of all this madness. We were thinking about other rocker movies and how bad most of them are. Now, Purple Rain actually was a big hit, so it's an outlier here because rocker movies or pop star movies are usually just the worst. They're at the bottom of the barrel.
That's why I like that movie Pop Star with Andy Samberg.
Yeah, that one's good it's a good satire of this. So I'm trying to think of the pop stars that transition into movie roles.
Britney Spears has a movie.
And you said, I've never seen that, but I'm sure it was terrible. It was a failure. Crossroads. Mariah Carey had Glitter. Elvis obviously had a successful movie career.
Whitney Houston,
Bodyguard. Dolly Parton was in movies. Cher did movies. Who else?
Sting?
Yes.
But he was
Sting
not
did a couple movies.
He was a...
I mean, he wasn't the star.
Yeah, he was like an extra in a good
Oh, remember Mick Jagger in Free Jack?
Oh, yeah.
They gave him like 3 lines. Mick Jagger in Free Jack. Remember that? Mm-hmm. They were like, maybe we cut out most of Mick's, dialogue. Let's cut down on his actual words. Let's just have him looking and standing around.
I'm worried about the fish in the fishbowl in that movie. There's too many fish.
She did have like 50 fish in one tiny bowl. That was a little odd. I don't know what she was thinking, but
don't try that.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, the witness protection mafia angle is also weird in this movie. That so this valedictorian preppy girl, her whole family was relocated, and she doesn't actually know her identity or what her real name is, and it's kind of like, it's just bizarre. I guess they had to come up with some kind of plot, but it's not.
She has to follow her heart, man.
Right. Well, it's also odd too that is the plot
yourself.
when the story supposedly was that something like Vanilla Ice was upset that his mafia connected record label was not paying him, and that's why he got threatened. Right. Mm. So that's the point with, I think, Suge Knight was that Suge Knight was, connected to the industry, movie, record, mafia type stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
where are we at?
That's pretty much it. I mean, the hip hop squad saves the day from the family.
Well, it takes them being streetwise to fight the mafia.
Yeah.
Right, which is preposterous, but
Vanilla Ice gets in a fist fight and gets it.
That's what I'm talking about. He inexplicably can just bust ass anywhere, just totally whips ass anybody. He does like that's what I'm talking about. He does like roundhouses and stuff like.
Yeah, he's
so they made it. They were like, Iceman, we're gonna make you into an action hero, right? So he's doing roundhouse kicks. He's doing like Van Damme stuff, right?
He kicked the boyfriend's ass and the mob guy's ass.
Mm-hmm. Follow your heart.
So, how fresh or not fresh would you say this movie?
This is more like the HIV posse, more like than the VIP posse. I mean, this movie is one of the worst, hands down, but a lot of fun if you're looking for a terrible movie that's a lot of fun to watch.
You're right, because a lot of the scenes they were trying to make it look like a music video, like her bedroom.
Right. When they're wandering around the construction site.
Yeah. So now we come to a real big stinker.
I never heard it. I did hate it. I had a hard time. I couldn't even watch it. It was so bad. But it was. Imagine a cat woman in the 1920s and 30s who, instead of cats, is just into monkeys. So there was a 20s and 30s monkey woman.
It was supposed to be like whimsical, but the more you watch it,
it's sad
and you're like,
and
if
weird.
this is based on a true story and a true lady, this is really
nuts,
messed
dude.
up. Like,
right, so you're supposed to empathize with this woman and her plight and it's like a creepier, weird, a cartoon version of Jane Goodall, right?
Yeah.
From the 20s and 30s. I forget this woman's name, but supposedly a real woman who just had a heart for monkeys and animals.
They're not monkeys. They're
yeah, whatever. I don't care. But the only reason I knew about this is that I was watching old Siskel and Ebert shows, and they were reviewing movies from, I think, 1997, the year I graduated. And they were talking about the worst movies that year, and one of them was Buddy. And I'm like, what the F is Buddy? I've never even heard of this. And it's Rene Russo as a monkey addict. She's addicted to monkey.
Yeah. And she, has a lot of money. So she takes
She's
care
eccentric
of these
and crazy.
apes like children.
Yeah, she dresses them up, takes them to the movies. She has bedrooms like they're kids, like they're real people.
Yeah.
It's just, this woman was nuts, dude.
I thought it was really gross, and the thought of it in real life, to have all of these, it might be okay to have a zoo, or donate to the zoo, or have a menagerie outside or in the barn. I don't know, but living with the monkeys was no me gusta.
Well, she apparently didn't have kids, and so she went nuts. So these are replacement kids.
I didn't even like the chimps in the clothes in the movie, running amok in the house. It was really...
The animal movies are the worst. They're really the for, proportion. Like, there's more crap animal movies and kids movies than anything else.
Sometimes I like a good dog movie, though, but this was not...
I'm talking about ratio.
Oh, yeah.
On the average... the worst types of movies, probably even worse than horror movies. I mean, there's just horror is a genre with 95% garbage, but animal movie, kid movies, I mean, these are literally some of the worst because they're just pure consumer, cookie cutter driven drivel. I mean, they're just the worst.
Do you remember that one? That was just...
And this one is trying to be moving and serious, and that's why it's so bad. It's attempting to pull on your heartstrings, and the woman is just nuts. Like, this woman is mentally insane, but you're supposed to identify with her and her obsession, and it just makes no sense.
Like, she's just like a kooky, character that...
And her poor husband who had to put up with this woman.
No, she controls the monkeys by shaking this voodoo stick at them. Remember when they get too hyper and they chimp out, and she has this stick with a skull on it, and she shakes that thing to make them behave. I thought that was really bizarre. So, I like the sassy maid. It was good. She's like, get the chimps out of my kitchen, right? Oh, sorry. And
yes, other terrible animal movies, Air Bud, right? I mean, there's just an endless genre of these, and Everything Is Terrible did a really good presentation of compiling all of the worst of all these stupid animal movies.
I did not like the gorilla when it was a baby. I did not like Buddy as a baby. Did you?
It looks like a demon. And this is supposed to be, cutting edge Jim Henson puppetry, right? And it's like, it's terrible. It's just this creepy looking puppet that looks like a demon. It doesn't look, it's not puppetry. It's I don't know. It looks like something from Labyrinth, that was left over.
At least we have Pee Wee Herman as the gorilla expert.
Yeah, that weird cameos here.
Yeah. Buddy is crying all the time because he's a freaking gorilla stuck in a human bedroom with like, bars around it. Like
I don't really think Buddy was likable. I mean, he wasn't a likable animal.
No, he was always like clinging to her, and he had PTSD.
He's a codependent weirdo. He's a creep.
I did not like his clothes. I thought I would at least get to see cute animals in this bad movie, because I just like watching animals, but the way that they had them in dresses and bonnets and diapers and
yeah, anytime you see animals or monkeys wearing clothes, it just looks like they've taken a giant dump in the I mean, it just look like, why are you putting, because they're wearing diapers, I guess. It just,
and
bizarre.
She made them sit at the dinner table and learn how to fancy dine. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was just...
So she, was craving children, I guess, and never got it. So she just did it with these wild animals, which never works out good. And by the way, this is kind of like a softer version of any of the animal movies where the animal turns on the person, right? Mm-hmm. And you could tell that was what was going to happen. I mean, it was just totally obvious what was going to go on here, that the animal is going to go wild. He needs to be with his kind, and he has to be set free.
But at the same time, he's like hella codependent on her, always clinging. But then if he gets his PTSD trigger, he goes crazy and beats her. Oh, I thought it was weird how they put him to work. Like, several scenes he was scrubbing the floor. That was weird. They had an element of Darwinism in this movie, I thought, with the priest coming to visit Buddy and saying his eyes are not animal eyes or something. Or what?
Yeah, there was this kind of a Darwinian undertones with the Roman Catholic priest talking about how, Buddy has the eyes of a human, right? He's not. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the eyes of an animal. It's the eyes of a human.
Mm-hmm. So the climax of the movie is just Buddy freaking out, and he trashes the house, and they realize they have to let him live in an animal habitat because he's not people. Cows are not men.
Right.
Right?
He isn't mean.
No, isn't it mean? Yeah, this movie was bad because there was so many unlikable elements to the treatment of the animals and the cohabitation. So.
Would you cohabit with Buddy?
No, heck no.
Okay.
Gross. Would you cohabit with
Rene Russo? Hogwarts guy.
It did have the
Hagrid.
Hogwarts.
It had Hagrid in it.
Yeah, it had Hagrid in it.
Would you cohabit with Dobby?
I would have
Dobby?
Peacock in the yard. That would be cool. Or
would you cohabit with a peacock?
No. A dog. That's the only thing that I would have in the house.
What's next?
Buddy, gross. Okay, baby geniuses. This was crazy, y'all. We picked it because it just looked super tacky and goofy and bad and just bad taste. Is there something bad going on in the chat?
Mm-mm.
Oh. But it actually had a lot in it, right? It had a lot of stuff we talk about.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and this was in 1990.
This was the only one that it had unexpected conspiratorial plot elements. Mm-hmm. That was unexpected.
Yeah. So you've got this corporation called Baby Co. and head by this like magnate Kathleen Turner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she has the secret lab experimenting on babies.
Designer babies, basically.
No, she messes with their minds and makes them telepathic and is trying to see if this kinder method of raising children is better than the traditional method.
Right.
Which the kinder method is like MKUltra.
In the movie.
In the movie, yeah.
How is it like that?
Because, like, calling out the genius and experimenting on twins and...
Yeah, so this is like, well, the Nazis would do these kinds of experiments on twins. They did genetic experimentation to try to, perfect the species and so forth.
And their pods where they sleep are fanciful and, like, not in reality. There was a lot of elements in it that I thought were... Well, let's go through it. So the babies have like superpowers somehow from her.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is absolute trash, and a lot of this movie does not make sense. It was just, there was this rash of kind of baby movies, like Look Who's Talking, and this. Again, some of the worst movies are the dog and the kid movies, and we've got two key specimens here. But it is so bizarre that it has this underlying, sort of MK Ultra eugenics style transhumanist plot.
Yeah.
That even touches on things like
well, you got
designer babies.
Christopher Lloyd is the evil scientist, and they're doing these experiments on the gene. She has this whole orphanage that she set up, like worldwide network of orphanages, where she goes and picks out the geniuses to put in her program.
Right, and they're no telling how many real programs like this. I also think there might have been something to the generations, like in this movie, because the babies are like the spurgs that have been tinkered with to be these weirdo geniuses, right? So they're psychopathic kind of geniuses.
I did not like how they talk. There's something weird too going on in this movie. How they describe the babies know everything and the universal knowledge. So that's how they're able to communicate with each other. All the babies' goo goo gaga talk is actually genius because they're tapping into universal knowledge. And then when they turn 3, they lose this ability, and it's called crossing over. It's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so Kathleen Turner has this whole organization, and she also wants to open this theme park where everything is fake. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And the big baby, that big giant...
What was his name?
Baby
There's a giant
Bunting
robot baby that's just...
Baby Bunting or something.
It's like out of a nightmare, yeah.
It was the ugliest thing ever. Let's see. Oh, the twins. She split one up and gave one to Kim Cattrall and Kim Cattrall's husband, and kept one twin. Right? They figured out that baby Scribbles was actually like cuneiform. It was so stupid.
By the way, if they're geniuses, why can't they use the toilet? Why are they still wearing diapers? And
it was nasty. That part, he like jumps in the diaper bin to escape the stupid lab. And they're calling him diaper gravy, and the dog even thinks he smells bad. It's so stupid.
I actually like that diaper gravy. I'm gonna use it. I don't know what for, but I'm gonna use it.
Like the whole time I was watching it, like that meme. Do you know that little girl in the car seat that goes like, yeah, yeah. That's how I had my face the entire time.
She did. I looked over at her.
I did not like the scene where the baby jumps in the other baby's stroller and swaps clothes, and the girl baby's like has a cigar now and is like, call me, like they just had baby sex. It's really nasty. It's not good. Oh, another part of this movie was that one of the teenage caretakers.
Yeah, really. I mean, the innuendos and the weird stuff of babies doing things, like walking around smoking cigars. It's unsettling. It's awkward. Somehow this movie was a hit, though. This movie actually made like 100 million, 80, 70 million. It made millions and millions of dollars. I don't know how this movie was a hit. It's just unsettling, really, is the only thing I can think to say.
I think I'm on the team of people that don't like to see babies doing adult things. Like, you remember that episode in The Office where Angela...
Did she say that?
She wants to put a poster up of the babies playing saxophone, and nobody else wants her to put it up. Remember that? I don't like it. Anyways.
Or like those Geico ads, or there used to be some ad about like babies that would talk about the stock market. Remember those ads?
Yeah, I don't like it. This movie actually had a Three Stooges gag, which I thought was really
diaper
dumb.
wave. Somebody make some diaper wave.
But no, I was talking about the boy Dickie character.
Right, he's the millennial. So I'm saying the generations in this movie. The boomers are clueless. They don't know what's going on. The babies are the geniuses because they're the engineered Zoomer Spurgs. And then the millennial age guy, Dickie, he looks like a rapper today. It's weird. So when he's a rapper, he literally looks like rappers now. Like he's a mumble rap, like flash rap,
pink everything,
weird rapper.
And then the next time
this is 1999.
the next time he comes back, he's a Buddhist doing mantras.
And then he becomes
some kind of greaser.
A hipster greaser.
Yeah.
So he's rootless. He has no... That generation in the film is rootless. It's supposed to be funny. It's not funny at all. It's just weird. Yeah. Everything about this movie is weird. And we even talked about the possibility of the Aeon of Horus, right? Spirit here in this.
They're worshiping babies. They're worshiping pre-conscious thought, like when you start to develop memories and stuff like that. They're worshiping the id stage of development where you're just a wah baby, diaper baby. But supposedly now you know everything in the mysteries of the universe and how to escape high-tech facilities and turn your toys into weapons and stuff like that. Like, this is a ridiculous movie. I never thought they could make me hate the sound of a baby laughing. This movie made me hate that.
They had a soundboard where they just kept pushing that stupid effect.
Oh, and the babies can mind control you. Remember, they mind controlled Dom DeLuise. They talked to him in his sleep and got him.
Because they're geniuses.
Yeah, so they're baby mind control geniuses. They call it their great work.
Well, Christopher Lloyd calls it the great work.
Yeah.
So there are actual, like, alchemical references in the film where he says this is our great work to complete this, right? So there's this whole, again, eugenics, transhumanist thing going on in just this worst movie ever. It's just very bizarre. Wasn't expected, right? I'd never seen this movie. I just saw it coming up on, a lot of lists of worst movies of all time. And so I was like, well, we got to watch this if it's on like 100 people's lists of the worst.
Mm-hmm. At the end, she tries moving the babies to Liechtenstein.
Right, so there's a conscious corporate Nazi element to this, right? So they're going to take the babies off that have been experimented on to raise them and keep them in this weird toddler stage where they're supposedly geniuses. Mm-hmm. And like the Castle of Liechtenstein, that kind of stuff, that harkens to, Himmler and Himmler's, Knights of the Round Table rituals or whatever, supposedly.
Like, there's so many bad things about this movie, I can't even pick.
I would not. It's very unsettling. Yeah. I would not recommend it unless you're just really a diehard, worst movies ever kind of person. I mean,
well, there is a thrilling chopper scene where they were dangling like 8 feet over the roof. That's the climax of the movie. It's really bad. The
kids, like wearing the Saturday Night Fever dancing scene, which is a CGI dancing baby. Remember the dancing baby from like your GeoCities website, right? Something like that is going on here.
I hated the montage of the clothes.
Yeah.
Where he's trying on all the adult clothes. I hated that.
Right. Right.
I hated the Randy Travis montage at the end where there's like a...
So then they show you again all of these unsettling, weird baby images with Randy Travis singing a heartstrings. What was he singing about?
I don't know.
Oh, like growing up. It's just, it is one of the worst that I've ever seen.
But it has weird conspiracy stuff in it, though.
Right, and
it's Illuminati confirmed.
But it's not worse in a fun way. It's worse in a just really painful, unsettling way. And if you want a good bad movie, watch something like Junior, where Arnold is at the Lamaze camp. That was one of the best worst scenes ever in movies. That one is great. But this is just unsettling. There's nothing. It's terrible.
Yeah. Didn't like it.
What's next?
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way is the best of the worst, and the more I see it, the more I like it. There are other things going on in this movie as well, right? Jingle All the Way is also dealing with consumerism, the conspiracy of how we're controlled through consumerism and advertising, admin, how they keep us at each other's throats over plastic garbage made in China or wherever all this crap's made. I don't even know. So there are some interesting critiques, and there's one scene again where Sinbad lays out what's really going on, right? Where he's like, "Don't you watch TV, man? Don't you see what they're doing to us, man?" He's like, "They've got us all at each other's throats over this plastic crap," right? And he says that the TV is what is, basically controlling people telling them what to buy, what they need, that they don't actually need. It's setting the children against the adults. And so the theme of this movie, which actually is interesting, is the archetypes of superheroes and consumer garbage as the replacement father figure, because the way society is structured, the father is away from the house for so long. He's not there to be a father, basically.
Yeah.
And this comes up multiple times in the film. And so what happens is the children are raised by movies and comic books, right? And so they perceive those unreal things as the hero. This was the plot of Last Action Hero, which actually is a really good movie too, by the way. Very philosophical film. That's the same principle at work here. It's odd too that Arnold is in both of those.
Are you a superhero? Remember? It has Anakin in it.
Are you an angel?
My pod can go faster than your pod.
Oh, Annie!
So it has that little kid from Anakin. What's his name?
I don't know that his name. Anakin. I call everybody by their movie name. So if I ever meet any of these people, I'm just gonna call them by their movie names, right?
Well, in this movie's name,
you meet Arnold and you call him Dutch, right? Hey, it's Dutch. Why do you call me the Dutch?
Because of Predator.
My name is not the Dutch.
Yeah, this movie, Arnold is the lame dad, and he gets outpaced by
Turbo Man.
No, and the neighbor.
He doesn't get outpaced because nobody ever actually likes the Phil Hartman character, because
Phil Hartman, that's it.
This is also a weird commentary on suburban life, I guess. The mundane, boring aspects of suburban life create this bubbling undercurrent of sexual repression. So there's this weird Freudian element where Phil Hartman just tries to sleep with all of the moms in the neighborhood, which apparently he's done well in a couple cases because he slept with some of them, but then he's trying to get at Arnold's wife, but he never can.
He's doing all the right things, like checking all the boxes, but he's not really a good person, right? Even though he's doing all the dad things.
He's a creep in the movie.
But he's doing all the things he should be doing as a ploy to get to
keep up appearances, right?
Yeah.
But he keeps trying to sleep with Arnold's wife, which again I think is supposed to be some sort of weird commentary on suburban, middle class consumer. But that's the thing, is that there is this underlying theme that the people in the movie, who are all middle class people, are controlled by these just ridiculous things. That's the point of this movie. So there actually is, in all this silliness and stupidity, an interesting message, right? Because if you think back to 80s, 90s, right? I grew up when you had these crazes over stuff that the media could create a craze over. For example, before Tickle, there was Cabbage Patch Kids. So in the 80s, they would put out these stories that parents are fighting one another in Walmart. They're attacking each other at Target and Kmart over the craze for Cabbage Patch Kids. And the media would feed that, right? Then the commercials and the advertising, all of it was part of the hype that was, in a way, mind control, you could say. Because this is just some ridiculous thing that's, nobody even remembers Cabbage Patch Kids anymore. Then the same thing happens in the 90s with Tickle Me Elmo. People going crazy. And Furbies. People going crazy. And then Beanie Babies. Just the most ridiculous, stupid shit that people are acting like is, some kind of currency. When society collapses, like, we'll just have to go to a Bitcoin or a furries-based economy, like Pogs. We'll attach, our currency to Pogs or something.
Stupid thing? Pop, those little square pop things that everyone has a. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh. Anyways.
You know the little Funko Pop?
Yes.
Yes.
I hate those.
That's this most. I mean, I don't know if anybody's killed anybody over Funko Pops, but this kind of stupidity is the. Every decade, there's another one of these stupid things, right? I'm sure there's stories somewhere of people, attacking each other over Funko Pops, or like, senior citizens with their Hummels, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like an underground racket of Hummels.
Well, this movie has the trope that dads always lie to mom about what the mom asked them to do. Well,
that's how the zany hijinks occur. You could have no zany hijinks if dad didn't lie.
Yeah.
Oh, the Turbo Man, yeah.
I got that.
Yes, I got the Turbo Man. With the action power arms.
Does it actually...
That is not included.
Does it have that cheesy Christmas song like... Does it have that?
You mean when there's hijinks?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, of course it does.
Okay. All Christmas... Wacky Christmas.
I mean, this movie has like 4
that.
or 5 action hijinks sequences that are wild.
Well, it has...
I mean, there's that... Hold on. There's the action hijinks sequence of the bouncing ball at the mall. There's the terror bomb plot at the radio station with Sinbad. There's the Santas versus Arnold sequence, and then there's the Turbo Man suit sequence. Right? So there's a lot of that, Benny Hill level stuff in this.
Your favorite is the Santa's fighting, right? Remember the...
There's some really genius things in this, actually. I mean, genius in a retard genius way.
I think I laughed the hardest when he punched the reindeer in the face.
It's so dumb that will actually make
dumb.
you laugh. I mean, I like the Santas with
burnt wire.
No, with peppermint nunchucks. And I like the midget Santa. That's not an elf. You would think that midgets would be elves, but there's a midget Santa. It's Vern Troyer, by the way.
Yeah.
Where else are we at? Are we done? Is that it? So there's this critique. Oh, by the way, there's weird stuff too about the innuendos, the wife's cookies. Oh, I've got your wife's cookies. Oh, they're great.
I'm eating them right now.
Don't eat my wife's cookie. Put the cookie down. Put the cookie down.
Yeah. I like the barbershop Santa song about the dad who forgot Christmas. That's pretty good. So this is the best bad one of the batch.
It is. This one actually is worth watching. It's like they were writing this literally on some kind of drug. Like they were stoned out of their mind on really strong weed, or they wrote this on shrooms or something, because this movie is wacky, dude. It actually does have a kind of philosophical critique and theme to it about consumerism and possibly even other things. I mean, this whole war on terror type thing that goes on and in the bomb plot in the radio station. They talk about the war on terror, the terror plots. That comes up multiple times in the script, but quite a few 90s movies, as we've seen, had that theme way ahead of time.
Yeah, Jingle all the way. What's the best line in it? The cookies?
So I said, your partner looks better over time. Is it your diet or CBD? No, it's not. I've had the same diet for forever. It's probably because we got actual cringe YouTuber e-celebrity lights in here. So we actually have real lighting. So that's the only reason that we look decent.
It's the lights, yeah. Are we on the last one?
Yeah, we'll take some super chat. There's not a whole lot to say about this because this movie was so bad we couldn't even finish it. This was a real downer. We just had to turn it off after about half of it. I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, it's unwatchable. It really is. I remember in the 90s, my brother, because he was a kid in the 90s, so he was growing up, and he would always rent these horrible Dolph Lundgren or Van Damme movies all the time. So I had to suffer through my brother making me watch these kinds of, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, and he would rent Street Fighter, and he would rent Mortal Kombat, and when he would rent them, he would watch them like over and over and over. So shout out to my little bro for all these bad movies from the 90s, and going back and watching them is a chore. I'll tell you what. I mean, Street Fighter is unwatchable. You have basically if you don't know, it's one of the early video game movies. I mean, this is when in the 90s they started figuring out that video games are so popular, we just start making movies from these, right? And we will be doing the Mario Brothers movie, which has a lot of really weird stuff in it.
It's esoteric.
It is pretty esoteric. We'll be doing that one soon in our next Alien stream for Alien January. But yeah, there was Mario Brothers, there was Street Fighter, Resident Evil came out in the 90s, the movie. So you've got quite a few, like, people starting to cash in on this whole video game thing. I'm sure there's probably some in the 80s too, right? I mean, we can think of the Wizard, right? That was kind of setting the stage with Fred Savage, right? Where they unveiled Mario 3 in the Wizard. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And that was really just advertisements for video games is what a lot of this stuff is.
Mm-hmm. I think Raul Julia is too good for this.
Well, that was one of the things that people were saying was that they were surprised that, he was willing to do, because he was kind of at his peak. I mean, he was starting to get sick at this time, but this is mid-90s, he's really, well-known, respected actor. And then he takes this, maybe they just offered him a lot of money. I mean, this movie was a high budget. It was a big production.
And it made money.
And it did. It was actually a success. I think it made $100 million, and it cost 30 or 40. Mm-hmm. So not bad in mid-90s money, but it's just unbelievably bad. I mean, there's not much to say about it other than it's this weird UN propaganda too. So it's like the dictator played by Raul Julia, who modeled himself on Mussolini and various dictators. He is a drug lord, former drug lord, who's now trying to, create this world dictatorship. So, of course, the Street Fighter team is going to basically be fighting with the UN. So Van Damme plays this knockoff United Nations colonel. It's just weird.
It's the AN.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't they just use the United Nations? Is it copyrighted? Like, why can't you just say the UN? Why are you the AN? It's just bizarre. Yeah. What else? So you paid more attention than I did. I was having a hard time just even watching.
Nothing bores me more than a fist fight blow up thing. But I tried to watch it. So
this is a lot of noise and mess, and it's just like what?
Well, one interesting thing about it is the General Raul Julia has kidnapped a scientist to make.
Oh, it's all about super soldiers. That's I forgot. Van Damme. There's multiple movies about super soldiers, right? Mm-hmm. Universal Soldier, him and Dolph, right? So there's something going on with these 90s plots about. That was a big thing in the 90s. Super soldiers. It's in the G.I. Joe stuff. It's in a lot of these 90s movies. It's a big part of the X-Files story arc, right? Why were they so intent on telling us about?
Buffy had
the super. Oh yeah, the whole season of Buffy is about super soldiers.
Your worst hated character in the whole Buffy, Riley.
Yeah, Riley's terrible.
Lame ass Riley.
And he ends up being a super soldier, right?
Yeah. And the super soldier. So the scientist is kidnapped and working for the dictator, and he's got these bags, like neon bags of IVs, going into Jean-Claude Van Damme's friend to create some kind of green guy with orange hair. He looks like the Riddler plus a caveman.
It looks like Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, he looks really bad.
Yeah.
But one of the IV bags is like DNA mutators. So the scientist first has to program the guy's mind to be a killer, and then they have to beef up his body. They made a point of that.
Right. Yeah, it's terrible. It's unwatchable. Is there anything else worth mentioning?
The cheesiest part of this whole movie is the dictator, Bison Raul Julia, has his weapons control looks exactly like a video game, like an arcade.
He
like
actually fights with a video, which is interesting because drone warfare today is they recruit guys who play video games to be the drone pilot guys, right?
That's
so it's bizarre because he is literally playing a video game when he's attacking his enemies. Which was interesting. So the gamification of society is actually present in this film.
It's so cheesy that the dictator thinks he can get anything he wants by just kidnapping people.
Johnny Cage, Chun Li. No wait, I get Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter mixed up, right? That's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage, fight, finish him, fatality.
Oh, the dictator, he's kind of a psycho because he has like bone furniture and stuff, remember?
Right, well, obviously if you're a dictator, you're probably a psycho, but they do intentionally show him having like a bone, it's a bone chandelier and then a bone throne, and which is interesting because some dictators actually have been serial killer psychos. For example, Jean Baudel Bocassa if you read Dave McGowan's Program to Kill book, he talks about the South African dictator who was a cannibal. So he actually was like that, right? All the way up into the 90s.
Yeah. So this movie was very comic book, video game, Schumacher, Batman-y. Colorful, but not a lot of...
It is genuinely terrible. So I think we had a nice little sliver, window into some of the worst. It was fun to watch these. Of course, really, again, if you're going to subject yourself to something this bad, unless you and your friends are all drunk, you want to watch the Riff Tracks versions of Cool as Ice and The Room. Jingle All the Way is a classic, but spare yourself the rest. I warn you. What do you think?
Yeah.
And also, if you guys want signed copies of Jamie's book, Hollywood Mind Control, available at Jay's Analysis in the shop. She's got some new ones in. Finally, they were back ordered for a long time. And then, of course, you can always support me by getting the signed copies of my books, Esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2, at the shop at Jay's Analysis. And we'll get to some of these super chats. And by the way, in the chat, tell me what are the bad movies that you think we should do next time? Right, we're looking forward to doing some more B movies, maybe alien B movies. I don't know, but they need to be the fun kind of B movies. You know what I mean? They need to be. I don't know. You tell me what movies that are bad do you want to see us dissect? And let's do some of these super chats. Exposing Powerful Lies. What's up, bro? Got a big supporter, longtime supporter, follower there. Shout out to EPL and the EPL posse and the HIV posse with little AIDS. He says, ever see Emperor of the North? It has Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine. It's an amazing hobo film. We haven't covered any hobo films. So we've seen a lot of hobo demons in David Lynch and John Carpenter movies. So I'm gonna write that down. We definitely need to dive into the hobo genre ASAP. So get us a bag with a 40 in it.
The only hobo movie I can think of has like Nick Nolte.
Get some Cobra, some King Cobra. What?
Nick Nolte and a little kid hobo movie.
The only hobo movie I'll recommend is Journey of Natty Gann, which is John Cusack's first movie, because it's pretty good. It's actually a good movie.
Emperor of the North. You want me to read one?
Sure.
The Squid Sauce has $1. It says, thanks, Jay. Your videos have got me to look into orthodoxy. Good. By the way, Tommy Wiseau was born in Poland in the Eastern Bloc. Cool.
Well, that doesn't tell us much about, but thank you. I want to know what's really going on with Tommy Wiseau. How do you make his money? That's what we want to know. Mm-hmm. Jimmy for $5 says, "Oh hi doggy, oh hi doggy."
Oh hi doggy.
What's next? Go ahead.
The Real Cooter Brown, $5. Congratulations on 70K, Pool Boy. What happened? Drowning Out the Fury, which started Danny Trejo, Kevin Sorbo, and Jason Mewes, is probably the worst movie ever made. It's total cringe, comedy, and nearly unwatchable, but it's got some funny moments.
Pool Boy?
Pool Boy, Drowning Out the Fury. Okay.
All right, so I'm writing these down as you guys tell me. This is good. That's great. So I've never heard of Emperor of the North in the hobo genre. Is that even a genre? We're going to create a new genre.
Hobo noir.
Hobo noir. I want to watch hobo erotic thrillers.
No!
hobo fantasy movies.
Hobo sci-fi.
Like the train carts all fixed up with like...
Okay, where are we?
Tommy Webb says... But he sees my new sweet vanilla ice.
I like it.
Pano Costuras, shout out to Pano. He says for $3, congratulations on the subs. Also, Jay, your new lighting makes your videos look like a 90s music video. Well, then good. That works. We'll take that. Thank you. Janie Sophia, $15. Your haircut is fly. Well, thank you. This was a joint effort. It took two people to reproduce a kind of if a creature chewed off your hair look. Jamie, you look gorgeous as always. What is gaujou? Gaujou. That's a kind of sauce that you dip your subs into.
Gaujou.
Mick Ale, $10. Ice to see you. Vanilla ice to see you. Mm-hmm. Chill out. Chill out. Yes, some of Arnold's worst are definitely in the Batman and Robin installment. We thought about including that one, but honestly, Jingle All the Way is more enjoyable than any of the garbage juice that you would suck out of Batman and Robin, right?
Yeah. But
Arnold is fun in that. Maria, you want to read that?
Kara.
Oh yeah. Kara.
No. Dirty Cams.
Hold on. Darren McAdams, there.
Darren McAdams 777. Thank yous for your smiling faces and funny vibes. Big shindig at 75K, no doubt about it. Peace. Word. 75K.
I don't know what we'll do when we hit 75. I mean, it's just another excuse to have a party stream. So maybe we'll do like the bad alien movies, or we'll do, whatever. We'll do more of what you guys recommend for the worst. Yeah. Somebody said Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf is not that bad. I mean, it's dumb, but Sling Blade, that's a good movie. It's not a bad movie.
We did have started a list of movies that we hate for whatever reason. We could hate on some movies.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll take we're getting the Greasy Strangler. I know about that one. Kara says,
nice Chad hair bra. Thanks for doing the room. Yep, you're welcome. Our pleasure. That was really fun.
I kind of got a shorter version of Vanilla Ice going on. That's why I gave myself.
Oh, do you remember the little brother in the movie Cool as Ice? He had to mess up his hair to be like vanilla.
I mean, I did my hair like Vanilla Ice at that time. I'll dig up for you guys my Halloween. I went as Vanilla Ice for Halloween one year.
He looked like...
And I had the...
A creature chewed his hair off.
Marius the Big Dum Dum for $2. Check out the stuff. No, we've already done the stuff. The stuff is a classic. We did the stuff about 3 months ago. In our B, we returned to some of our favorite B movies, and so I will. Actually, let me find that one for you guys. You want to read the next couple?
The stuff is one of my favorite.
It is fun.
It has so much in it.
It was good. A good B movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Ribranium has donated $5. Davos announced this week that Pogs will be the new currency, but only the elites will have slammers.
That's what I'm saying.
Black Dynamite is a terrific, good, bad movie. Black Dynamite. Okay.
That's why, in order to fight the system, we as the people are going to have to adopt Furbies as a counter currency to the elites and their Pogs.
Didn't they ban Furbies at NASA? Because they thought they were Russian bots.
That's got to be fake story.
You think that's
got to be a fake story. It can't be real.
All right. More super chat?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the stuff. Oh. I think I found it.
It's the one with the little ghoulie in the toilet.
I know, but
picture.
I don't remember what I titled it. That's the problem.
Oh.
Keep going.
Okay, I can't see. Exposing Powerful Lies, $5. Another great hobo film is Boxcar Bertha by Roger Corman and David Carradine.
We know Roger Corman.
I was a train hopper for years. That's why I'm so into that stuff. Also, Beggars of Life.
I didn't even know this was a whole thing.
A silent film.
A hobo genre. People are into this stuff, dude.
Is about hobos too. Haha. Okay.
So this is the stream where they said you look like goth Jamie, right? When we did this stuff.
Oh, well, my hair's not grown out.
So there's that when we did this stuff, it was goth Jamie. People were like, "Why is Jamie goth?"
It's all lighting and haircuts.
See, that's why we gotta get the cringe Isolev lighting going, right?
Yeah.
We're cringe Isolevs now. So we got legit Isolev lighting. Here is the stuff show for those who missed it. That one was a lot of fun. The B movies are always the best. Is that it?
I think that's
Ex Florio? You didn't do that.
Oh. Someone else said the stuff. Marius the Big Dum Dum. Ex Florio. Any info on the possible Chris Langan interview or any possible debates in the somewhat future?
Nope, no one to debate. However, if you guys are interested in more Jay's analysis tonight, you can go tune in to Ground Zero. I'll be on Clyde Lewis. So we'll be on nationally syndicated radio tonight. Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis. I'm sure you guys know who Clyde is. We're going to be talking about Davos and the World Economic Forum. So looking forward to that. That will begin in about 30 minutes. So we'll be getting off here shortly. But I'll be on with Clyde talking about that. And no debates, sorry. But yes, it does look like the Chris Langan interview will probably happen. I just have to come up with these questions, and we're trying to figure out the best venue to do the interview. So it'll probably be on my channel, and we'll be talking about, philosophy, mathematics, that kind of stuff. So, Vibranium, did you do that? Black Dynamite?
No.
Black Dynamite is a comedy, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Black Dynamite. I've seen that. It's a funny comedy.
We read that one. Keep going up.
That's all of them, I think.
Oh, okay. That's it.
So, what else is good? Any other? Teeth is a horrible movie. Yeah. It's got to be just right, though. I like The Gate, and I like TerrorVision. I think we covered TerrorVision a long time ago. Troll 2, that's a classic bad movie. Yeah, we'll put Troll on there. Troll, and then Troll 2. Everybody loves Troll. Troll 2 is up there with The Room, right?
You just liked Phantasm 3 or whatever.
Phantasm 3 was a B movie that was good, though. It wasn't a bad movie. We got multiple requests for TerrorVision, which is good. It was a lot of fun. Planet of the Vampires. Yeah. I mean, that one comes up a lot. These are some good B movies. Death Machine, that sounds good. Malibu Express, yeah, I've seen that one. The Riff Tracks guys did that one. Death Machine, that sounds awesome. Just because it sounds so generic. Death Machine.
I want to watch Chopping
Grave
Mall.
of the Vampire, that one sounds good. Yes, we are planning to do Chopping Mall. That one did come up on a lot of lists.
And Basket Case.
And Basket Case. What was that? Grave what? Malibu Express. Grave of the Vampire. I might have actually seen that. I'm not sure. But I have these written down, guys. So if you find... Now, we watched a really good Riff Tracks last night that we had missed with Mario Lopez. Remember that? So if you've not seen the Riff Tracks of Absolution with Mario Lopez and Jamie Presley, that is a really good Riff Tracks. Maybe we'll do a stream just on Riff Tracks. I messaged Bill Corbett to try to see if he would come on and do an interview, but he never replied. So I don't know if they do many interviews. I'm probably too edgy for those guys. I don't know, but we're big Riff Tracks fans here. But Basket Case, we got some Basket Case fans in the audience, so we're gonna add that. Everybody's requesting that. It's a classic. We got a couple more here.
What? Super chat?
Yeah, he's. Go ahead.
Boxcar Bertha. We read that one.
No, this.
Exposing Powerful Lies. Another great hobo film is Boxcar Bertha by Roger Corman with David Carradine. Yeah, we read that. I was a train hopper for.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Up here.
Okay. Karasu, $5. I love Jamie. She's such a sweetheart. Aw, I love you too. Tommy Webb, $5. Thank you for content, Jane and Jamie. Cheers.
Thank you, Tommy Webb. Much appreciated. Yeah, I mean, you guys, we love you. We're glad to be here still, thankfully, luckily, by God's grace. Yeah, glad we hit 70. I kind of feel like we should be higher up than we are. I'm not sure. I don't know about all these stats, but anyway, I guess we can't control that. So we'll be thankful that we have the 70 that we have. But yeah, everybody subscribe, support, like, share, and we'll talk to you soon. And switch on over if you want to hear me tonight talking about H.G. Wells and the World Economic Forum with Clyde Lewis tonight. Grave Encounters. Ghost hunting show. Grave Encounters. Is that a comedy though? We don't want to do. By the way, Dark Star. Right. I know there's a few of the John Carpenters that we haven't done. Right. So there's a few outliers of John Carpenter that I'd like to do, and definitely Dark Star is part of that. So we should catch up with that Actually, we have 1 million subscribers, right? I feel like we should be, right, at like 150 at least, you know? But...
Well, I don't know how people just start a channel, you know, in a couple months and already have 100,000. Like... Well,
that's because they're promoting... Whatever they're talking about, they want to promote it. So... Anyway, thank you guys very much.
There's one more thing.
Was there another super chat?
Oh, $3. Theoria Zone.
Oh,
thanks for
they
the
keep
laughs.
rolling. They want us to keep going.
Yeah. Theoria Zone, $3. Thanks for the laughs. That was really fun. Yeah, we had fun watching them mostly, and fun talking about it.
I'll try to add, by the way, if you want to watch the Riff Tracks ones, they're not all on Tubi, but if you go to tubi.tv, they have a lot of Riff Tracks. So tubi.tv for some of these Riff Tracks, and I think there's one more super chat.
Okay. Mel My Bell, $5. Hobo with a Shotgun was a pretty terrible movie about a hobo. I think it was a Canadian movie, so...
I didn't even know there was a genre of maybe, you know, that's the hobo demons, right, that are in all the David Lynch movies. Have you seen,
like, hobo language? Like, they had their own...
I did know that, yes. I have heard that.
Language.
I've heard that,
yeah. That was kind of interesting.
So there's Tubi if you want to see a lot of the Riff Tracks.
I mean, if a hobo is someone who travels around doing gigs and looking for work, I've been a hobo, so.
I picture the like, you know, you've got like the inexplicable red swollen nose, and you've got like
alcoholism.
But why is your nose swollen? Does alcohol swell your nose?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you're, you know, wearing an overcoat, like a straw hat,
with patches on the elbow.
Yeah, and like gloves that no hobo has a full glove. Like every hobo has the fingers cut off of the
fingerless gloves,
which doesn't make sense because if you're a hobo, you're cold, right? But I don't know. And you're always gripping a 40, so you got to have a 40 in a bag. You can't just drink a 40. You got to have a bag, and you get on box carts and shit. That's like if you're not doing that, you're not a hobo to me.
Yeah, your pants are rolled up and you have like holes in your shoes. And
if you have a shirt, you're wearing a flannel, you know, logger shirt. Right?
Yeah.
So that's if you're not coming at me with that, you're not authentic hobo, dude. You're hobo front and get out of my face.